This is our living room. When we moved in the house, this was just everything was white. It just didn't have much depth to it. And so I love the color orange. It's probably my favorite color. And so we painted all the walls orange, and I actually haven't touched it since, which is saying a lot for me. We love to have fires here. This is where we put our Christmas tree, and it really is just like a happy space. We have the sunroom, which is one of my favorite features of the house, off of this living room. And so when you walk in the house, you kind of see the outside, and it's a sunroom, and so it just flows really well, and we love being in here. So the way I set up the furniture in here, I did 2 sofas facing each other. We host a lot, and so I wanted to make sure that we had good like conversational pieces that just worked well around the fireplace. And it also just makes sense in this room. I wouldn't want to cover the door. And so it just worked out to have these 2 sofas facing each other. And really, we can fit a lot of people in here, which is really, really nice because this is where we spend the holidays. The piano actually came with the house. And so when we moved in, there was like a massive piano that took half of the room because the lady was a pianist. And so they took that one out and left us with this one, which is really fun because we wanted a piano, and my girls are taking piano lessons now. And so it's a very, very old piano, and it's kind of part of the house. So if we ever leave this house, I think the piano will stay here with it. I love plants. I love the color green, and I just love something live in the room. And so I have these potted geraniums over here that do so well indoors. And then I have a ficus over here and a lemon tree over there where the sunroom is. And I just love how, I don't know, green looks it looks good against anything. It looks good against orange, any color, and it just brings life into a room. We also have so many design books and magazines all over the house. I think I have stacks of books and magazines everywhere. I'll take you into another room that's basically a library, and it's just filled with mostly design books and magazines, and then a little bit of fiction. But these are the things that I love. So one of my favorite aspects of this room are these big windows and door that goes out to the sunroom. I love sunrooms. We haven't touched it since we moved into the house, but we have big plans for it. One of the big things that I am after with every remodel that we do in this house, and I'll show you other parts that we've remodeled already, but I want to make it feel like it was always this way. Even though it's going to be updated, I don't want you to be able to tell that it was updated. My goal is to make it feel like it was always here. And so we hope to do that with the sunroom, and make it a little bit bigger, something that we can use year round. Right now it's like a screened porch, which is lovely, but I would love to be able to use it all year round. So we have some fun plans for the sunroom in store. Now I'm going to take you guys into the dining room. This is the dining room, and one of the weirdest parts about this dining room when we bought the house was that this doorway wasn't there. So this room is the family room, and I'll show you that in a little bit, but this door wasn't there, so you had to walk all the way around the back side of the house to get to this room. It's almost like it doesn't exist. So we cut this doorway and added a door here to help the flow of the house. And now that it's here, again, it feels like it always should have been here. And it feels old. We sourced this old door, and we tried to add the trim like the rest of the house to make it feel cohesive. This is original to the house, and this is one of my favorite little built-ins. I think it's so sweet with its little picture design and the silver in it. I just love how simple and classic it is. And then I just kept this room a light tone because I wanted the silver and the china to pop, and it gets a lot of light. And then I wanted the wood pieces. We have this really great wood piece here, and I wanted this to just look good against just a white wall, just kind of pop. And so this is just a great fun space. We host a lot, and we have people in here, and it's just a perfect place to hang out and play games and eat some food. Sourcing furniture is really fun for me. I love furniture that is old. I don't usually buy furniture that's new, ever. I think everything that you see in my house is either out of a vintage antique mall, online antique, like First Dibs or Cherish or Facebook Marketplace. I think Facebook Marketplace is wildly undervalued these days. This piece I actually got on Facebook Marketplace. It's called a Welsh cabinet. I don't buy things that are new, mainly because I feel like the quality isn't as good as it used to be. And so I like things that are older. They feel a little more well-made. They have a story behind them, and that's kind of my theme with sourcing furniture. I just buy what I like, and I buy sturdy, well-made pieces. I think that patience is really key in design and finding the perfect piece. I think it takes time sometimes to find exactly what you're looking for, and it's important to just hang in there and wait for that right piece for your space. I think that lighting is like one of the most important aspects of a home. I think you can really change a room by the way that you light it up and the way you make it feel. And so I love lamps and sconces and picture lights and all of those things. And I think that that's what I like to incorporate the most in design, is very specific lighting. And that's what helps give your home that feel, like that warm feeling. I did not always know I wanted to be a design consultant, but I did. Probably in like my early to mid 20s, I started really enjoying looking at homes and playing with my own house and changing furniture around literally all the time, changing rooms like a million times, which I still do. And then I just kept doing it. I enjoyed doing it in my house. I did it in my friend's house, my sister's house, my parents' house. And it didn't become an obsession, but it was like definitely a passion. I just enjoyed it, and so I kept doing it wherever I could. And then people started asking me to do it for them, and it just sort of organically, naturally turned into work, which is amazing because it's my favorite thing to do. If I'm not decorating, I'm flipping through a magazine trying to figure out how I should change a room. All right, let's head into the family room. So this room, when the house was originally built in 1936, this used to be the garage. And then the previous owners turned this garage into a 1970s den. So this was all walls, sheetrock, and just a like laminate floor. And so when we moved in, it was kind of reminiscent of an ice skating rink. In that there was just walls and just a ton of space. And so it was kind of like a blank slate. This fireplace was here, but it looked completely different. It had that like 1970s thin tile. And so we started with the recovering of the fireplace. We covered it in this stucco, and I gave it this sort of rounded mantle. The wall space is hard to fill if you just have, 4 blank walls. What are you gonna do with all of that? So we added these bookcases and decided to make it into like a little library room. And now, honestly, this is the most used room in the house by far. The kids play in here. We watch movies and TV in here. We have a fire every single night of winter, fall, and spring in here. And so it has become, what used to be the garage has now become the happiest library family room of the house. This table right here is this old pine table, is probably one of my favorite pieces in my entire house. I'm not quite sure what it is, and I think that's why I like it. It's just kind of this odd square table with a shelf at the bottom. And it honestly, the minute I saw it in the vintage store, I knew it would go between these 2 doors perfectly. And so this was the first piece. This kind of I built the room around this piece. I flanked it with 2 chairs, and then the rest was just about seating. And so we have a very comfortable sofa here, 2 chairs that flank the fireplace, one by George Smith, which is the vintage find of my life. I got a George Smith chair and ottoman at Goodwill, which blew my mind. I think I actually cried. I think I actually cried when I found it. And so And then books. I would say books everywhere. My husband is like, he loves history, so these are a lot of his books. And then my design shelf and magazine is over there. And the kids' books are over here. And it's just kind of fun to sit in a room and, you know, flip through books and hang out around the fire. It does feel old worldly, and it's just a very happy place for us. The biggest piece of advice that I would give to anybody who is going to remodel their home is to stay away from trends. And I think that's very difficult to do because it's all around you all the time. And it's like, this is what's cool now. This is what you should do with your house, and this is what's easily accessible. But I think it is important to remember, one, to stay true to the style of your home and to not try to make a brick Colonial a super modern space just because that's not true to the house. So I think it's important to try to stay away from trends and to be true to the house style if the house has a very specific style, and if not, to be true to yourself and say like, well, what is it that I like? I'm not trying to be just trendy. I want to do something that I love that also has longevity, that I'm gonna like in 10 years, that I'm gonna like in 15 years. And I think that that takes a little bit of thought. It really takes like sitting down and thinking, you know, what do I want this space to really, again, it comes down to patience and taking the time. How do I use this space? How will I, utilize it now when my kids are small or in 15 years when they're a bit older? And so I think all of those things matter so much in design. It's not just about, what's cool now. It's about how you live your life within that home and what's important to you and your family. I do love art. And for the longest time, art was inaccessible to me because it's so expensive. That's just a fact. Art is expensive. I don't care who you are, it's still expensive. And for the longest time, I used to take design, like I would buy a book by Picasso and I would tear the pages out and frame them because that's how I could put pictures on my wall without spending too much money. It's just recently that I've been able to afford myself the luxury of buying artwork. And so I bought this Brock lithograph recently, which I love. And even though it's tiny, I love it. And then this oil painting that for me, when it comes to art, I think it's like a reaction. Like, I love it. I can't explain why I love it. I just do. I think the only thing that I can break it down to is colors. I know like when I like a color scheme. And so with this one especially, it has like this green and pink sort of thing going on. Otherwise, it's pretty simple, and that just allows me to do more within the room. I feel like I don't know. Again, I had a reaction to this specific piece of art. I also love family pictures. I think it's important for my kids to grow up and see pictures of our family, their parents, their grandparents, their friends, their aunts and uncles. And so my husband sort of built these shelves in here where we could just put a ton of family pictures, and I kept them all in black and white. I'm not quite sure why I did that, to be honest. I just felt like it looked right. And every now and then my husband tries to put like a color picture in there or like a Polaroid, and I take it away because I don't like it. So just black and white in here, that's all. Because I have so much shelving, I dedicated one shelf to another little black and white photo area of our family. So we look at these all the time, and my kids ask questions like, oh, who's this, who's that, even though they know. And I think that's fun. It's a great conversation piece. I have 3 small children. I have 8, 5, and 2. And lots of my friends are like, I don't know how you have all these nice things and your kids don't mess everything up. Well, they do. And I'm trying to teach them not to mess things up, to live with nice things and not destroy them. But honestly, that's just kind of the name of the game. I think that if you want to have a nice house, then have a nice house and just know that things might get a little beat up along the way, but that's just how life is. And I would rather have stuff all over my coffee table than take everything off of fear of it getting destroyed. Actually, do you want to see the markers on the sofa? So this is how I incorporate my kids. They take Sharpies to my, now I have to get this whole chair recovered, which is actually fine because I wanted to anyways, and now I have a real reason to do it. So this is probably my favorite room in the house. I think because it just was this way, and it just has always been this way since 1936. These walls haven't been touched, and everything kind of just feels like it always was this way. It actually like feels that way, and so I just love it. It's small. It has these little bookcases, these weird hooks for hats, and we just, honestly, it's kind of at the top of the steps, and we hang out here a lot. My husband and I, we just chit-chat and enjoy it and have a drink at night and just enjoy the space. I think one of the things that, because this room was always this way, I knew, I was like, oh, I'm not touching that room. I'm not doing anything to it. I'm just gonna put some furniture in it and just situate it. The desk made sense to be in front of the window because how nice to look out the window when you're working. And then the only thing that I really wanted to achieve in here was like good lighting. And so I have these old MG Wheeler lamps that I love and that feel like this lamp is in The Sandlot. And so there's like this office scene where the dad, like the kid's getting the baseball from his dad's office. I don't know if you know Sandlot, and like this is on the desk. And so I just wanted it to feel like maybe this could be like going back in time. Like this could be an office from the 60s and like old Americana feeling. And that's really all I wanted to achieve coming into it. I think just the theme, I think like, again, pictures, to bring it back to like family photos. We have, this is like, I put some books on the bookshelves, but I like how it doesn't feel too curated. Like I sat there and like, you know, found a spot for each thing. Like we have Polaroids everywhere and they're just stacked everywhere all the time, and they'll change all the time. Like my kids will just put Polaroids on the shelves, and I love that it just feels organic and not too like stuffy, not too over decorated. I think that we kind of, you can get to a space where it just feels like everything feels like a magazine, and I love that as well. But I love spaces like this that just feel like just organic. They're not it doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look like I sat here and arranged each and every book, because I didn't. And you know, his hats, he wears these every day and they just hang up there. And I just love that feeling. What does home mean to me? I would say that a home is the backdrop of your life. I think that we have an opportunity to take our home and make it whatever it is we want it to be. So I think that I have, you know, 3 small children, and I want them to grow up in a home that they're gonna remember forever, because it's the backdrop of our lives. And I think that you have the opportunity to make it incredibly amazing. And for me, I don't want to miss out on that chance.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.